अबू मलिक, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है टेली टॉक पर, टाइम्स नेटवर्क पर। एंड इट्स सो गुड टू सी यू।
Hi, nice, Vicky. Nice to be seeing you. Wonderful to have you out there. And I'm very nice to be on Telly Talk. It's very enjoyable talking to you.
Yeah, so I'll get to the point straight away, Abu. And the elephant in the room is Asim Riaz. And
Yeah.
everybody has been just, condemning what he did at the Khatron Ke Khiladi season, which is now going up on display or, going on air. Um, जो हर एक कंटेस्टेंट ने कहा है, उससे साफ जाहिर है कि असीम रियाज डिड नॉट बिहेव वेल with Rohit Shetty, with Shaleen Bhanot, with a couple of others, and a large fight had erupted in Romania. Now, I'm asking you this question, and you are here on the show largely because you know him. You were there for 4 weeks with him, and you spoke to him at close quarters. You have a good observation power as well. So it would be just fitting to ask you about your experiences with him. Um, do you think he's a misunderstood guy? Do you think he's that angry young man, or do you think he is just off limits?
I first saw Asim Riaz on stage when we were all entering into the Big Boss with Salman getting each and every act on the stage and then each one going in and, one after the other. That's the first time I saw this boy. Previous to that, I'd never seen him.
Mm.
But when we all sat down after each act was coming in, then kind of a squabble started between him and Paras.
Mm.
Paras was there. So you could see a glimpse. He is he's a little off limits that I couldn't make out at that particular point. But Paras told me, yeah, this guy's met me 20 times, but he's not even acknowledging my presence now. Like he's not talking, looking at me also. And he's saying, do you know me? So he says, no, I don't know who you are. So that was the first time I saw him. And he was very confident at that time. I remember on the stage when Salman asked him, I'm going to win this event, I will be that kind. I looked at this guy and I felt that there was something about him which I felt was a little wild. Then once we were inside the house, it was we formed a kind of a group in which Asim was there, Siddharth was also there, Shenaz was there, Arti was there, and we 4 or 5 used to be there together,
Mm.
and the others used to be a little separate from us. And in the course of conversations, I realized a few things that I noticed about him was that he had a very aggressive presence in the sense that he had a lot of confidence in what he's doing or whatever he's doing.
Mm.
But he was very, very insecure because he came from at least in Bombay city, he was not doing well. He was not doing well. And he was telling me, trying to fix up things with me when we would go outside. He says, okay, if you want any supplies of dry fruits and things like that, I'd be able to get them for you. That's how we started talking. I said, why not? Yeah, don't worry. Things will. But I used to tell him, say, once you get out of this show, you'll be a very famous guy. So this ये जो चक्कर तेरे दिमाग में चल रहा है, ये actually is not the right way of thinking. You have to just concentrate on what you're doing right now. और इससे I somehow had this feeling that the boy would become famous. And then gradually we all, me, Siddharth, and him, used to sit down. Siddharth was a literary chap, He was well educated and knew a lot of things. And he used to look at me and tell me, Abu, these guys know nothing. he had the sarcastic look. These guys don't look nothing. So he used to question him. Hey, do you know who Hitler is? Now, this is actual words. Huh? Uh, so, yeah. This guy should say, yeah, I know. He's raped a few women and all that kind of thing. That is the kind of guy he was. Naam suna usko. So he did not know who Hitler is. That is the type of chap this guy was as we began the show. And he was um, he was a type that as the days were progressing, then we had the first chance of the first game in the second week, I think. And that game, they had to sit down and you can't shout or something, and somebody will torture that person as much as possible till he comes up and says, "Oh." So he said, "No, I will not participate in this game. I will not participate. You're not allowed to do," because he saw something happening to the another character. But no, no, I will not do it. हारते तो हारने दो. I don't care. So that is the first time I noticed his stubbornness as far as his skin and looks and things are concerned. He was very, very paranoid about his personality. He was aware that there is a personality in that, and he used to keep his spell busy with his bodybuilding and his diet. And I think he was a nice guy. He's a nice, straight guy who had something in his mind and heart which he wanted to do. What you saw of him in the later stages was very different. And then the aggressive style started coming in the second week, where there was some food being cooked and we wanted to eat something and they didn't work out. So there was a big fight between Rashmi and this guy. And he went berserk in the fight. Just like what you're talking about has happened recently. He just lost control and he was shouting
You
across
must
the
have
beds.
you must have read about what happened at
Yeah, I read about.
Khatron
This
Ke
is
Khiladi show.
exactly that happens. It's a trigger. You trigger it off, and this guy is going to go ballistic. He was just went ballistic over at that time. He just looked at these people and went left, right, and center. Now, see, you must understand that um, before these sequences that are happening, we were all quite connected as friends because was not playing a very important role at that structure. That role came up when I had left, and I could not believe that this is the same guy. So I don't realize that what exactly happened after I left. But he became extremely violent, and that violence is evident in that fight which he had with Rashmi in the house, where I felt that if I had intervened in that fight, the fight would have got over. So I let them fight, you know. And he went and jumped across the beds and stood in front of her and says, "I'll see you. Let's see what you can do." That kind of shit. And she also went very aggressive with him. So both of them were really quarreling. And that is when we saw the real angry style of this guy. And furthermore, he used to get very, very angry based on regional words, like talking about Kashmiris or talking about the background, or somebody used to, like Paras used to needle him a lot. And in that needling, this guy used to go wild in that time also. So let's put it that this is his basic nature. Basic nature. I've been hearing things about him after I came out, but he never maintained friendship because I became very close to Siddharth. I and Siddharth were very good pals. Me, Siddharth, and Shenaz became very, very friendly inside the house. In fact, when he was out also, Siddharth, we used to meet very often. Shenaz, I meet even maybe last 3, 4 days, 5 days, I've been with her. Means we've been together. So we don't go out publicizing the whole thing, but we are together, going to the house, sitting, talking to each other, and things like that. So then after that stage, then we had this episode. He showed a lot of grit in that. That is when we had to hold each other's hand and not let each other go. And people had to destroy us, no matter what. ठंडा पानी फेंक रहे हैं, वो एसिड का वो क्रीम लगा रहे हैं, वैनिशिंग क्रीम, वो जो होता है ना, जिसमें होता है बाल निकलते हैं, वो क्रीम लगा रहे हैं स्किन पे. दे वर डूइंग हॉरर. चिलीज मुंह पे फेंक रहे हैं. एंड दैट इज वेयर हिज एक्चुअली स्टॉक रोज, because he held my hand and I held his hand and I didn't let go. If either one had let go, then the show was over. Means that act was over. And this went on for 5 hours. 5 hours. 5 hours we are holding each other's hand and people are watching, and it seems that it has horrified the audiences. All over. Because at one point he was weeping and I was weeping, and we were holding on to each other. We never let go. बोला हाथ नहीं छोड़ूंगा मैं. हाथ नहीं. That endeared him to all the people. And that is the nature, another nature But the thing is that yeah, I'm much older than him. I was double his age. And to me, it was more difficult. I could have really pulled out because I'm asthmatic also, and it was very difficult for me. But I held on to that guy. I didn't let him go in any manner. They tried their best. So that is where his true character came out. And that character is of defiance. That character is of not letting, uh, believing in things that he does and wants to go ahead as much as he can. So we really won that. And that is where he became endeared to the entire audiences all over the world. Now, what happened after that is a different story. I came out of the house after the fourth week, and we were all together throughout. But I saw him distancing himself and getting his own individual standing. Otherwise, we were in the Chhatra Chaya of Siddharth. You know, we were with Siddharth, and we were. He started having his own, wanting his own identity. So he was mixing with Rashmi and these people, and that I got to see when I was outside. But all throughout the event, we used to go back now. Even if we were outside, we were called inside for something or the other. He realized that I am very much for Siddharth and not for him. That angered him very much because he thought me to be like a brother. He thought he never met me. He just met me once. After that, he never connected with me. That was his anger. Why did I support the other guy when I should have supported him according to him? I'm like his brother. According, I should. It is not. I required his support. Abu Malik should have supported me. That is the kind of thinking he has. But I had nothing like that. I just felt that Siddharth is the rightful winner of the show. I got to hear about his the rumors of being very difficult in shoots, very difficult in interacting with people, very difficult. So I think that this wildness is in his nature.
Yeah, I was
And
about to
whatever
ask
you
you.
got
I was about to ask you that because you earlier mentioned that you got to hear a lot of things about him. So what were those things?
yeah, this that shootings पे आना नहीं और shootings पे trouble create करना, not liking the that you agreed upon, and then the the basic thing that a star puts up or the tantrums that a star puts up, which is okay, yaar. Maybe they want him that much and they want to put up things the way he says, and it's okay. So I
Mm.
would that is handling things. Let him handle it. But I think that could have caused a lot of dearth in his work, and people were not too happy working with him. So these rumors were coming out. So when you tell me that it happened in this KKK, that people have all of them commented that they didn't like him. That is the basic report I got from other places also.
Mm.
I'm ready to meet a guy who would come up and say, okay, what a good guy.
You're still to
I didn't get to hear that.
you're still to meet that person who will call him a good guy.
Yeah, I've got to meet him. Meet as such a person. Who would
Mm.
come and say, yeah, what a nice person he is.
Mm.
What a nice. He just went into a different mode only. आरती के वेडिंग पे गए थे तो सब लोग मिले थे ना विशाल ये then that girl who was with Paras,
Mm.
Myra, then many people were there. So there when he got talking, they told us कि यार उसके साथ ऐसा किया, उसने किसी के साथ किया. They kept on of work that he used to do. His conduction of the work was not very professional. That is gathered from other people. But my general reading about him has been that as long as you don't poke him or insult him, he will be okay with you.
Mm.
If you start insulting him and poking him, I saw that the girl actually said something to him.
Which girl?
You know, there was this girl in KKK, the girl who had picked up a fight, and he said, it's like you're not in a position to understand, or you're not too mature to understand what I can go through in life. Something of that sort happened. And then the other boy interfered.
Mm.
Now, that is like triggering somebody.
Mm.
And triggering this man is very, very difficult to handle.
Yeah.
That I think people have seen in Big Boss 13. That is his nature. It is nothing to do with an act. Big Boss doesn't, you can act in Big Boss for a few weeks. After that, the true character of a person comes out. The character of Siddharth also is to put up a fight. The Siddharth is going to attack you in one way or the other. And same with Asim. So that made the show so popular. They were really at loggerheads with each other. It was like a war out there, man. It was war. That show cannot be repeated ever again. Never can we see a Big Boss 13 again.
So I'll go to Nimrit Kaur's comment where she says that ऐसा पहले कभी नहीं देखा है, ऐसा माहौल, ऐसा environment सेट पे कभी नहीं मैंने ऐसे पहली बार होते हुए देखा है. you know I don't think an environment like this should ever happen.
He's elect. He's like a shock. He can have this effect. The effect she's talking about now, he can do it.
Hmm.
It is like you can't believe what he can trigger off. And you have triggered him, and you
Hmm.
have. So that she has said right. That atmosphere, it becomes quite frightening at one time. I think in Big Boss also it was very frightening. If you see the Big Boss 13, and
Hmm.
you've seen the fights, it was like a horrifying structure on the screen. Horrifying.
But nobody tried to explain to him to mellow down in Big Boss.
I think everybody has started enjoying the fights. And they also felt somewhere down. As I told you, I was a senior guy. If I had gone in the middle, the fight would have stopped.
Karanveer Mehra says, who is he?
Arey, he's a popular guy, yaar. People love him. People still love him. Asim bhai, they love him.
Hmm.
Told you that animal test is there. So he's the animal. He's a real animal out there. So it's okay. So even in KKK, if you take him out maybe at some point, then maybe it would not be that interesting because people have to see that wild streak in him. And that KKK is also all about challenges and wildness and doing activity that you cannot, but it's dangerous to handle. Like he has to agree to do what you're planning. If he doesn't agree, then I don't think you should air it. You should talk to him before you put him on it.
Hmm.
If you think that कुछ भी बोल दोगे चल जाएगा, it won't work with him. Whether it's Rohit Shetty or anybody, he's not going to look at anybody. When he goes mad, he goes mad. That's it.
But apparently, he later was said to have apologized to Rohit. That's what the buzz was. And then we also heard that he came away from Romania. Either he was officially eliminated or whatever,
Uh,
and did not inform the media or anybody in that he's back until we at Daily Talk found out that he has slipped back into the country.
he could have done that. He said, "No, I don't want to be the part of the show," and walked off. Quite possible. He just doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't care to a point that इसकी वजह से ये होगा, उसकी वजह से ये होगा, या इसकी वजह से he doesn't. He's far beyond all that. He's done his stuff. He's made his money, and that be good enough. He's So from the levels he came in, I think he's happy with the position he's in. He
Number
doesn't want to drag himself.
Number three, Aditi, another contestant in the current season, says that he's the most Battamiz Bacha of the season. She criticizes him for his arrogance and for abusing other contestants.
Yeah, this is a normal behavior content. It's very normal for him. It's very normal behavior for him. It's not extraordinary behavior for him. If you look at his entire background look at his entire backlog of the work he's done, he could probably, if you go against him, he's going to slam you. So either you have got the guts to face up to him or talk him down in a manner to get him to reduce his anger in whatever reason he's got angry about. So if you can't do that, and if you challenge him, he's going to fight with you and abuse you straight on. There are many abusive animals in the world. So it's like that. That's the basic nature of some people. They don't care.
She strongly points out, recounting an incident, Aditi, where Asim derogatorily referred to a certain group as a herd of pigs.
Heard of?
Pigs, Pigs.
He also said no, that I have handled such people, groups before. And so I can handle a lot like you, wild animals like you also. That's what he meant. So he's not
Aditi,
afraid of handling these guys.
Aditi's criticism further increases when she In fact, very categorically, I think she's the only one who has categorically said that he misbehaved with Rohit Shetty. She expresses a disapproval, saying that he lost my respect after he disrespected Rohit. Sir, अगर इतने सीनियर बंदे को आप डिसरिस्पेक्ट कर रहे हो तो आप कोई अलग हवा में हो.
अलग हवा में तो है अलग हवा में है. और उसको उस वक्त जब उसका he was against what they were making him do, got angry on the matter, then at that time I think he had no control in what he was actually doing and whom he was speaking to. He loses it nut at that stage. I think that if you pushed against the wall, if he was pushed against the wall, he would react exactly as what she's saying. And he could have actually pulled up a quarrel with Rohit Shetty and said to him whatever he wanted to say, or gave him a piece of his own mind, which I think Rohit must have retaliated in a manner. Okay, man, you can take a walk. That's why I think he went left from Romania. But he must have apologized back and apologized. But I think this is a very normal behavior for him. I don't think this is extraordinary behavior for him. He's used to this kind of behavior.
Okay. Another contestant, Niyati Fatnani, says, hats off to Rohit sir on how he handled the situation. I don't really know what happened, what triggered that it escalated. वो मजाक ना रहते हुए insult हो गया. Words like suar and औकात were used.
कि basically actually feels like that now. कि तुम्हारी औकात क्या है? What is your standing in the world or whatever, wherever you all have reached? You all can't be an Asim Riaz. He has the following of millions of people, which is a fact too. He has his following, and that makes him a very interesting personality.
How can a personality be interesting if he's so condescending in nature?
Some people like it. People love that, where the person doesn't endorse anything, no behavior, no respect to anybody around him. No respect for the woman, no respect for brothers, no respect for mother, no respect for principals, college. What's all about? Basically, a human being who just doesn't care about what his behavior is like that. There are many people like this. I endorse his character because I think I'm also something like that only.
You're like Asim.
वो पिक्चर में म्यूजिक दिया, म्यूजिक म्यूजिक छोड़ के आ गया. चल हट हटा, नहीं करने का तुम्हारे साथ काम. रिकॉर्ड करने के बाद, गाने रिकॉर्ड करने के बाद काम ही नहीं करना मुझे. गाने ही नहीं रिकॉर्ड करने. I want to get out of the world. I walked away. They tried to call me back 100 times. I didn't go back. नहीं किया. गाने सब कुछ दिए, डायरेक्टर डाल दिया, एक्टर्स डाल दिए, सब कुछ मैंने किया. आफ्टर दैट नहीं करना, because you behave well.
So the information that I had, and we broke the story regarding this fight in absolute detail, that he called Shaleen Bhanot and Abhishek Kumar as losers at some point, and this didn't go down well with Shetty. And he also told Shetty that I buy a car every 3 months.
I've heard this.
Hmm?
I've heard this. I've heard this. Yeah.
Where have
He
you
said
heard?
that. Yeah, he has said that. Achha, you cannot go into the brain. I can go into the brain of something like this because I would actually go ahead and speak like that to somebody. If somebody had to trigger something, though I was not in a position, he's a much higher position. He's actually built up that following with him, and he's nearly won the contest, couple of contests. He's built up
No,
with
no,
his fan
I'm not
following.
getting you. Wait. So you have heard this dialogue that
Yeah, I've heard this dialogue. I
where
buy
have
a
you heard?
car every few days.
Where have you heard?
Either I've read it somewhere. I think I must have read it somewhere.
Asim saying
Or
this.
heard somebody, or somebody must have said this on some of these television things that I see. Okay, he talks like that every few days. But I've heard this dialogue. It's a very typical dialogue. Very typical.
Typical of Asim, you mean?
Typical of Asim, and many people like him. There are many. There's not one Asim alone who talks like this. There are many people who talk like this. ये तुम्हारी औकात क्या? Who the shit are you? Huh? I can buy a car every 3 4 days. It's no big deal. Who are you all? You all are just losers. What have you all achieved in life? That is what he meant to say.
However, Shilpa Shinde, and interestingly so, has supported him in the show, I'm told, and said that he was being provoked and hence his behavior was nasty. It's something like what you said earlier, that if this man is
Yeah.
provoked, then he turns nasty.
Yes, that I agree. Yeah, otherwise he's a nice person to talk to. He'll talk to you nicely. Don't go on his what you call territorial thing, Kashmiri thing. Don't go on his any kind of like knowledge or try to show him down in any manner. And don't tell him that you can't do something because he can do whatever he likes. That is the attitude he has. You just don't tell me what to do and what not to do. I'll decide what I want to do. If you try to provoke him, he's going to hit back to you violently. That is his nature. See, I didn't provoke him. I just supported somebody else, which he didn't like. He never spoke to me. He never spoke to me.
If he meets you tomorrow, will you go and say hi to him?
I don't mind saying, I'm an elder guy. I'll say, hi, Asim, how are you? What does it matter to me?
Mm-hmm.
What does it matter to me to say hello to a young man?
You expect him to reciprocate your hi?
Yes, he will reciprocate. I won't ask him also why you never became friends with me or something. He would say on my face कि आप तो उन लोग को सपोर्ट करते तो मैं क्यों आपका फ्रेंड बनूं? He'll tell me on my face. And I'll have to accept it and say, yeah, I supported them. But I knew they were winners and you were not. But maybe if you had supported me, I would have been a winner. You could come up and say that. So there's nothing, it would not end up in a quarrel because he understands that I'm a mature guy. So he has that respect to that. It's okay. But he doesn't want to meet anybody who will run him down. He never met me. Never. But you sit and work the raps out with me, make me hear the raps and things in the music. And I used to sing out all the time, this and that. I used to understand his music. So I used to be interested in him in that manner. But he realized that I had let him down.
It'll be very, very interesting if, eventually the media does ask him at some point what happened. And I hope his PR is not sitting beside him, maybe not in the frame, but a few seats away, and
I think he'll say openly.
saying that ये मत पूछना, ये मत पूछना, ये मत पूछना, ये मत बोलना.
नहीं, अगर मीडिया उससे ओपनली पूछे क्या हुआ तो बता देगा वो. I don't think he'll try to stop it. He said, ऐसा किया, ऐसा किया, ऐसा किया. There are a bloody bunch of losers. He's going to speak like that. Trying to compete with me. Are you crazy? He said, I am so and so, and you're trying to show me down. A twerp of a woman talking to me like that. He's going to talk like that. He'll actually speak like that. Who's she? What does he know? What is her standing? Who's that guy? What is he standing? Uska kya hai? Kya hai? Ah, okay, Rohit sir is supporting them. That's wrong. Rohit sir should support me. He'll say. So if Rohit sir is supporting them, that means he's against me. That is that.
Rohit
My
is not
friend.
supporting anybody in the show.
Huh. In
He,
some way that he had some conflict with him and agreed with other people in some manner or the other that he must have not liked. Or he asked him to do something which he didn't want to do.
yeah, he asked him to do a stunt in a certain way. That's what I was told.
Yeah, he would not do it. If it risks his life, or if he risks himself in any matter, he will not do it. He had made that clear to me in my big boss days. I will not do it. Tell somebody else to do it. I will not do it. Though he's a bodybuilder, trains himself, has got the flexibility, can do stunts that way he wants, but he will not do it. And I think he's right in not doing it. I think he's right in not doing it, whatever the game is. If he feels it's risky, he should not do it.
I don't know
For
whether
him to
it
capture.
was risky or whether he didn't like the stunt. Well, we will await, as you say, that he will be candid enough to point out everything what transpired.
But he'll speak everything. If
I
he is
hope.
questioned,
I hope.
if you get to interview him, he's going to tell you everything. He won't stop. I doubt that he'll mince his words. That's not his character. And if he minces his words, then there must be some kind of a, what do you call, pressure on him by which he'll have to mince his words. He is not the type of mince his words. He'll speak straight on. They provoked me, I gave them shit.
Thank you, Abu, for your candid views on Asim Riaz, and it's so good to see you again. I repeat, I hope your health is keeping good. You had a fall at Aarti's wedding, and I hope you have recovered well. You're going for your
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're going for your shows abroad in Europe, and I wish you all the best for the same. And somewhat like Asim, you also have a penchant for cars. You bought too many
Yeah.
cars, I think, in the recent past, and
Yeah.
I think we will do some reporting on the uh, which
Yeah,
cars
we'll
you
have to
want,
pick you up, take
which
you out
cars
on a
have
drive
caught
on
your
this.
eye, and which cars have caught your purse. We'll
Uh-huh.
we'll very
I'll take
soon,
you out for a ride in one of them.
very soon put that out.
But
Thank
I
you.
can't buy one every 3 days. That
Yeah,
only Asim can do.
yeah. वो आपकी औकात
Asim
नहीं,
can do.
वो आपकी औकात नहीं.
हमारी औकात हमारी औकात नहीं
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Vicky. Good night.